30 days, 3 AI side hustles, and exactly $1,247 earned. Welcome to The Explainer. We're cutting all the hype today, skipping the preamble, and giving you a brutally honest look at a real 30-day experiment. We wanted to see exactly what happens when you try to build an income stream from scratch using AI tools. So there's no theory here, no empty promises, just an actual 30 days of grinding tracked hour by hour with every single dollar accounted for. Some of these hustles, they completely failed. Some worked, but honestly barely. And one surprised us so much that it's literally being scaled into a massive full-time income right now.
Okay, let's dive into this. $1,247. That is the exact total amount earned in this 30-day window. We are going to break down these results for you from worst to best so you know exactly what's actually working out there right now and what is just a total waste of your time. Every number we look at today is 100% real, backed by actual dashboards and meticulous time tracking. So let's rip the Band-Aid off and start with the one that failed the hardest.
Hustle number 3. AI social media packs. Or, as I like to call it, the complete failure. Look, the pitch here was incredibly simple, and you've probably heard it before. You just use ChatGPT and Canva to generate social media content packs, and then you sell them to local businesses on Fiverr and Gumroad. It makes sense, right? Small business owners like fitness coaches and cafe owners desperately need consistent social media content, but they simply don't have the time to sit there and create it. But here is the brutal, harsh reality of that market. There are over 14,000 active listings on Fiverr right now offering that exact same thing. Most of those sellers have hundreds of 5-star reviews, and they're pricing their work ridiculously low, sometimes under $25. If you're a beginner jumping in without an existing audience, your gig is practically invisible. You're buried on page 47 of the search results where no one will literally ever find you. And on Gumroad, well, digital products just don't sell themselves. Without a mailing list or a big budget for paid ads, your product just sits there gathering digital dust. So the crucial point is radical transparency. Just look at these numbers. 19 hours of total effort. That's 4 hours setting up the gigs and 15 hours meticulously creating sample content. And it yielded absolutely nothing. $0 in earnings, an hourly rate of 0. Now, is this hustle entirely dead? Maybe not completely, but without a massive marketing engine or a big pre-existing following to leverage, it is a complete waste of time for a beginner. All right, let's move on to our second test.
Hustle number 2, AI-assisted Upwork writing, also known as the slow grind.
Now this one is the classic beginner side hustle, using ChatGPT to dramatically speed up drafting freelance writing projects for clients who need things like blog posts, product descriptions, or email sequences. Sounds easy enough. But after spending 3 hours on day 1 just setting up the profile, the real work kicked in. And man, it was a grueling process. Over the next 25 days, 28 custom, highly tailored proposals were sent out. And I mean real proposals, not copy-paste templates, but actual custom pitches referencing the client's specific pain points. Out of all 28 of those proposals, it led to exactly one project. One. Writing 3 500-word blog posts for a small SaaS company for $90 total. When we break down the math on this one, you really see why we call it the slow grind. 20 hours were invested in total. 8 hours were spent actually writing the content, and a massive 12 hours were sucked up just applying to jobs and managing back and forth communications. That results in $90 total. That's an hourly rate of $4.50. That is literally less than minimum wage in most cities. So while this hustle technically works, and sure, it can scale up over 6 to 12 months as you build a mountain of reviews, in those first 30 days, it's incredibly slow and highly demoralizing. All right, let's shift our energy to the big winner of this experiment. Hustle number 1, local AI automation, the scalable winner. This involves building AI-powered WhatsApp chatbots for local businesses using accessible tools like Make.com and ChatGPT. Now, the absolute genius of this hustle lies in its massive, untapped regional relevance. Local businesses in emerging markets, I'm talking about places like Dubai, Karachi, Manila, Chennai, and Jakarta, are absolutely drowning in manual WhatsApp messages. Every single day, they are getting the same 50 repetitive questions about opening hours, pricing, and booking appointments. Business owners are either wasting countless hours answering these manually, or even worse, they're missing messages entirely and losing out on sales. They desperately need automation. And the crazy part is, most of them haven't even heard of AI yet. Let's move to and see how this builds out in reality. It all started with sending just 20 simple, highly personalized WhatsApp messages directly to local businesses. We're talking no hard selling at all, just pointing out a very clear problem they have. Out of 20 messages, 2 businesses agreed to jump on a quick call. A $400 a month system was pitched to them. The actual chatbot only took about 15 hours to build and fully test, and by day 28, boom, a $400 payment was collected from a local dental clinic.
Looking at the month 1 numbers, the heavy initial lifting is pretty obvious. 35 hours were invested across learning the actual tools, doing the cold outreach, building the automated system, and taking the time to train the client's staff. At $400 earned, that comes out to an $11.43 hourly rate. Honestly, it's okay. It is certainly way better than the Upwork grind, but perhaps not completely groundbreaking on the surface.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the incredible jump from month 1 to month 2. This highlights the absolute superpower of recurring revenue. Unlike Upwork, where you're constantly trading your hours for a one-time project fee, this chatbot system runs completely on autopilot once it is built. From month 2 onward, maintaining that system takes maybe 2 hours a month, max. That means you are still getting paid that same $400, but for only 2 hours of work. Your hourly rate instantly scales to $200 an hour. Which brings us to section 4, the final tally. And the missing $757. Let's break the flow here intentionally for a second. If you have been doing the math with me, $0 from Fiverr, $90 from Upwork, and $400 from the chatbots, well, that only adds up to $490. So where on earth is the rest of that cash? In a moment of radical transparency to really cement the honesty of this experiment, that remaining $757 came from pre-existing freelance content work. It was work that was already ongoing before this 30-day test even started. It paid out during the 30-day window, so yeah, it legally counts toward the total month's income, but it wasn't actually part of the 3 new AI hustles we tested. The real momentum, the scalable future we care about, is entirely wrapped up in those WhatsApp chatbots.
And that is exactly why the decision was made to go absolutely all in and scale Hustle One. It offers true recurring monthly revenue, which means actual financial stability. It targets a massive, low-competition opportunity in emerging markets where you aren't fighting 10,000 other fiber sellers. You are very often the first and only person offering this kind of solution to a local gym. And most importantly, these systems scale without trading your precious hours for dollars. If you land and scale up to just 5 clients, that turns into $2,000 a month in sweet, recurring revenue for just a handful of maintenance hours.
Building wealth through AI isn't about finding some magical shortcut. It's about building leverage. You do the hard work once, and the system keeps earning for months. So I'm ending this explainer with a provocative challenge just for you. Which local business in your city are you going to message by this Friday? A local gym? A dental clinic down the street? A real estate office? Go find their WhatsApp number. Send them a friendly message offering to automate their endless inquiries. The absolute worst thing they can say is no. But the best that happens, you close your very own $400 a month client this week. So take action, and I'll see you in the next explainer.